Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello my dear friends. This is Dr. Huda. Today is an English lesson. Inshallah we are going to read a very nice story from Journeys volume 2.2. Let's start. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. بسم الله. The title of our story is My Name is Gabriela by Monica Brown and illustrated by Parra. Essential question: what makes a character interesting? Meet the author Monica Brown. Monica Brown's daughters think it's pretty cool to have a mom who's an author. At book signings, they'll walk up and announce that it was their mommy who wrote this book. Miss Brown says the family lives in Arizona, not far from the Grand Canyon. Meet the illustrator Parra. Parra grew up in California in a home filled with Mexican art, food, and traditions. Today, Mr. Parra's colorful art can be seen in galleries, on posters and CD covers, and in the pages of children's books. Target vocabulary: accepted, express, taught, grant, pretend, prize, wonder, fluttering. Target skill: understanding characters. Tell more about characters. Target strategy: analyze or evaluate. Tell how you feel about the text and why. Genre: a biography. A biography tells about events in a person's life. Set a purpose for reading based on the genre. My name is Gabriela Mistral. It is a name I chose myself because I like the sounds of it. I love words and sounds and stories. When I was a little girl, I lived with my mother and Emilina, my sister, in a small house in the beautiful Elqui Valley in Chile. From my bedroom window, I could see the Andes Mountains. When I couldn't sleep, I would look up at the mountains and wonder what could be beyond them. Zebras with polka dots, rainbow-colored flowers, angels reading books. I loved words. I liked the sounds they made rolling off my tongue. And I liked the way they could express how I felt. When I saw a butterfly fluttering, I noticed the way the words fluttering butterfly sounded together like a poem. I taught myself to read so that I could read other people's words and stories. I read stories about princes and princesses, about monsters and about birds and flowers. Stop and think. Author's craft. How does the author describe the way Gabriela feels about words? I also liked to write poems, sing songs, and tell stories using the words that I knew. I told stories about happy times and sad times, about mothers and babies and little children. I liked to play school with the children of my village. I pretended to be the teacher and my friends Sofia, Anna, and Pedro were my pupils. Pedro would always say that I was mean because I made him write his ABCs until he knew all the letters of the alphabet. But I told him that the alphabet is important. How else would he create words and tell his stories without it? In our pretend class, we sang songs like the baby chicks are saying beep, beep, beep. It means they are cold and hungry. It means they need some sleep. That was Sophia's favorite song. During recess, we had fun running and chasing and laughing and playing. When I grew up, I became a real teacher and writer. I taught the children of Chile, and many of my students became teachers themselves. I still wrote poems, happy poems and sad poems, stories of mothers and children. But I also wrote poems about animals, about parrots and peacocks and even rats. Stop and think, understanding characters. What in the story tells you that Gabriela thinks teaching and learning are important? I also traveled to faraway places. I never saw zebras with polka dots or rainbow colored flowers, but I met wonderful children and their teachers. I traveled to Europe, to France and Italy. I traveled to Mexico. I traveled to the United States. Everywhere I went, I wrote and taught and met teachers. I saw how all over the world people wanted their children to learn. My stories traveled the world with me. People liked to read my happy stories, my sad stories, my stories of women and children, my stories of parrots and peacocks, of old lions and of the fisher folk who slept in the sand and dreamt of the sea. Stop and think, analyze or evaluate. What might Gabriela Mistral want to tell children like you? And because people from all over the world loved my stories, so I was given a very special prize, the Nobel Prize for Literature. When I accepted the grand award, I thought of the beautiful mountains outside of my window in Chile, of my mother and sister, of the children of my village, and of all the stories that still need to be told. Now it's your turn. What's in a name? Write a name poem. How would you describe Gabriela? Write a name poem. Use each letter in Gabriela's name to begin a word or set of words that describes her. Share your poem with the class. Gabriela, great writer, always following her dreams. Turn and talk. Someone special. Look back at pages 84 to 93 of the selection. Talk with a partner about Gabriela's actions as a child. Would you want to be her friend? Why or why not? And now we've come to the end of our story today. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to share the videos with your friends and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, dear. Bye.